Alright, so I'm going to try to get a different angle here to show you my technique for doing aliens. So I guess first thing, I already did the clapton, which is 36 gauge nichrome 80. I got two 24s set up here for my cores. That's also nichrome. What I'm going to do is stitch it, so I might as well make a stitch while I'm at it. And all you basically do is you take a piece of higher gauge wire, you run it through this D-cord clapton, and then you tie one end off so it doesn't come back through the clapton, and then you stretch the clapton with the stitch wire in it, and then you wrap it essentially the same, just a little bit less lead forward, but you'll see as I go along. So I guess I'm going to pull out probably about, I don't know, 5-6 feet of 38 gauge to fish through this D-cord 36 gauge. But before that, I'm going to have a vape sail on them tidal wires I made earlier today. I'm in 0.26, 80, let's make it an even 85 watts. But anyway, so I'm going to get my 38 out. What I do is I just pull out a section, and then I stretch it so it falls pretty much flat. I do it off camera. Y'all know how to do it, so. This is the fun part for me because I can't see the shit when it's this tiny. So I'm going to try to fish it in. Sometimes you just need a little bit more light because my eyes are getting old. So I'll put this bright old light down here if it'll work. Come on, bitch. And now I can see. So basically what I do is I'll just hold this core wire here and get like ½ an inch and then push it straight as I can through this D-cord clapton. Get that light out of here. Tries a 40 gauge, it's even more of a pain in the ass. I haven't had much success with a stitching 40 gauge. It just, I guess I grasp too much tension on the alien and it just snags the stitch and shit gets out of hand. So. But I've done it successfully with 34 gauge and 38. Well, I'm going to try 36 and 38. Yeah, seems like it takes forever. Almost there. You can actually see the decoy clapton moving as you're fishing the wire through it. Off camera. Alright, it's starting to come out the other end. I'm going to zoom back out, and you can see the little tiny bit that came through. So I pulled out a couple inches, and I'll just tie an overhand knot. Filming. Can't do anything without people interrupting you. So I wish I still lived on my own. But it is what it is. It's like no matter where you live, there's always somebody up your ass. Alright, so what I'm going to do, now that I have the knot tied, is I'm going to put this in my vise. I guess I'll try to allow you to see it, but this is more about the technique of how I do the alien. What I do is I'll grab just the outside core and make sure that this stitch wire stays straight as you're pulling it. So I'm going to stretch it out. And I will tell you, it's harder to see if you have the proper gap in your alien because of the stitch wires in there. But I'd rather understretch and then re-stretch it out. So we'll see if this is enough. I'll move this camera around. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing when we're doing the aliens. Put my swivels back into the bottom of this vise. Put my 24 gauge in it. Make this sure it's going clockwise because I wrapped my initial clapton counterclockwise. So what I'm going to do is move this camera again. So hopefully you almost see the angle. That is very important on your lead when you're doing the aliens. So, but anyway, what I'll do is clip the end of the stitch off at the knot, or on the other side of the knot. Take it, wrap it around. One of those 90s. So as you can see, it's 90 degrees, probably plus 15. I don't know exactly, maybe a little bit more. But we're going to see if I stretched it enough. I really don't like stopping Aliens and then restarting, but I guess